What up, though?
What's up, everybody? What's up? What's up? What's up? It is me, Sonja,
What's up?
and these
What's
are the
up?
fellas.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
What's up to B Strilla, and what's up to you, James? How you guys doing today?
Damn near perfect.
All
A little
right. So
tired.
before
Ready,
we,
ready, ready, ready for playoff football.
before we start, you guys will probably see I am mobile. I want to give a shout out to my Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. Happy Founders Day to us tonight at 7:20 p.m. 106 years of service, scholarship, and all the people we love. So shout out to everybody. And shout out to Pink Fanfare, our realist, real production, real creator, and BU on the beat, getting all these musical add-ons added in. So yeah, guys, got a lot going on tonight. Got to look and see who all has been cleared. But before we get to that in the playoffs, the big news is, of course, Harbaugh is now a New York Giant head coach, guys. Heard that the Tennessee Titans were in the process of sending a plane for him. When New York does what they do best, hustle up and grabs him to the tune of $100 million, $20 million per year, guys. Are you guys surprised at this grab?
Nope. And
No,
it's still and,
Sonya. Go ahead.
and just before that, just before you get into it, James, he has not inked the deal yet. They're still hammering out stuff on there, so he hasn't
Wow.
exactly signed the contract yet.
Well, they
But
sure
he
got
is
it out
there.
there. They
Yeah.
sure got it out there. I hope something falls through and Tennessee is able to still get him, because that way we don't have to hear New York Giants fans get rat-a-tat-tat. Particularly one particular person that we have, to the tune of Fern, who conveniently has disappeared
I keep trying to tell her that
within the
she's going
last
to hear it
24
anyway.
hours.
Yeah, it's likely to go through Sonya. I think that John Harbaugh, New York is prime real estate. Uh, a lot of players are probably going to want to come play there. I mean, he's a player's coach, so and he gives a fine balance of giving a real discipline towards the team and being a player's coach. And as you saw, I don't know what happened towards the end, the relationship between him and Lamar, but in the beginning, it was great. They had excellent player coach relationship, at least from the optics of our perspective, from what it seemed. But um, the Giants, this reminds me honestly of the Tom Coughlin era. I mean, Tom Coughlin came from a really start, I mean, a franchise startup, and he brought Jacksonville to some heights in their beginning. As you know, Jacksonville and the Carolina Panthers came up at the same time back in '94, I believe that's when that was.
Yes.
And um, and
95.
look, yeah, 94, 95, and both teams did well their first couple of years, and Tom Coughlin went on to go to New York and brought a couple of championships there against the the dominant dynasty Patriots. And I like John Harbaugh in this position, and I think they'll get some key pieces there. Add around the young players and Malik Neighbors and Jackson Dart, Tyrone Tracy. You add a few key pieces there on offense, and you already have a really good defensive line. New York might be ready to make some moves in 26 and 27, and being playoff contenders, just because of the type of coach that you have coming in. And a lot of times that's really the difference that makes a big deal, as you saw with Sean Payton, how he did with the Broncos, and they became really their household names right now again because Sean Payton is there and doing this thing. So we'll see. I mean, I wanted to put out something here just to, before any of you say anything in regards to John Harbaugh. John Harbaugh is 180 wins and 113 losses and a 614 percentage win record, and he's got a Super Bowl under his belt. And he's in the postseason. He's 13 and
Right.
11, and you compare him to somebody like Mike Tomlin. He's in that ilk. Mike Tomlin, 193 wins, 114 losses, two ties, 628 percentage. He's got 8 wins in the postseason and 12 losses, but he got one Super Bowl win and 1 loss. And then, of course, Sean Payton, similar, just like those other guys. They're very good head coaches, but they're not elite. They're not the elite of the elite, the all-time great coaches that I would put them in the same breath. But these are very good coaches. Sean Payton had 184 wins, 108 losses, 130. And Mike McCarthy same, 174, 112, and all these guys won a Super Bowl. So they're kind of in that same breath. This is the kind of names you're comparing him with, his peers, and at the same level, kind of. So the Giants are really getting a really good head coach. That's what I'm trying to get at.
I
They're
mean,
getting a really good head coach,
yeah,
and
and I'm gonna go ahead,
Please.
James.
no, you go ahead, go ahead.
No, I was just letting you guys know I'm here. I turned my camera off because I am on the freeway, and I just thought that was safer for right now.
For sure.
But I will say this. So if you with you saying all that though, James, why then do people think what's the difference that they're in a win now mentality? Why not say another season from now as opposed to they're going to win right away? Because we saw how even Sean Payton in Denver, he didn't win the very first season. He's winning now. He did not win the very first season. So what's the difference?
It,
Or is it just some people think that he's a great coach, but what's the difference that makes him is he a win now? Does he go in there and win now?
I think it's more so the expectation of the particular city. I mean, we're talking about New York here. You got to come in there and be someone that has the expectation that we are going to come in here and win, because it's just what it is. I mean, you look at the names that they brought in here. We brought Brian Dable. I forgot who the coach was before him. These guys, New York hadn't won anything. They had maybe one playoff win, maybe in Brian Dable's tenure there, and nothing else after that. And New York
Right.
that's not what they're known for. New York, even the Jets, as bad as they have been all these years, they're gonna always have high expectations because it's just the market and the fan base. It's just who they are there. I think the Giants are probably going to have a little bit more success than the Jets would, but it's just an expectation. I think that's just what it is. It's what's coming with it. I don't think John Harbaugh has anything better or worse than Sean Payton has. I just think he's going to bring in what he has, in regards to his pedigree and his the skins on the wall, and come in there and make it a better. It's going to be better. I guarantee you, they're going to be better than what they were. But it, like you said, I think it may take time. It may not be next. It may not be 26. They really have to have some. They have to make some moves in free agency, and they also have to have a really good draft. They got the number 5 overall pick. They're gonna figure out what they can do there. They need another wide receiver. Cornell Tate potentially can come in, and that would help them out. That would help Jackson Dart out. They probably need another offensive line, but I'm not gonna. I'll be honest with you. I probably would take offensive line in free agency over the draft, and I would pick you got to make a splash move. I think they got to make a splash move here. Either they get a running back in like Jeremiah Love out of Notre Dame, or they get somebody like Cornell Tate to come in and help a Malik Neighbors who's going to be coming off of an ACL injury repair and recovery, and you got Wan'Dale Robinson who could be your number 3. So they make a few moves here and there, like I said, and you have a really good coaching hire here. They could come back and bounce back from this year and potentially have a 9-10 win season and hit the playoffs. But we'll see. Time will tell.
Yeah, I mean, B, what are your thoughts on that? Because I mean, the fact that there's so many, I get it, I get it. New York has traditionally gone down the last 3 seasons. They literally have lost more games with every season that passed, and so this will be a breath of fresh air with them. They've tried on several coaches, and the shoes just didn't fit. You got a stallion of a coach like John Harbaugh to come in that's got the brass to go with it. I mean, why? Who else? In my opinion, I'm thinking Dart is not your starting quarterback. Am I wrong about that?
Dart's not the starting quarterback. No, he's going to be a
I
starting
don't.
quarterback.
No, I know he is, but I'm saying I don't think that he's. I don't think he's. I just don't feel
You
like
don't think
his
he's a
starting.
franchise?
I think he is long term, but I think for what they have going on right now, I think that New York actually needs more of a veteran quarterback that could come in and kind of guide Dart, because right now that line is not ready to receive. Is what I'm saying. They're not the best line.
I mean, Dart he doesn't really need too much grooming. He's pretty much been thrown into the game situations. Um, I mean, Dart's just got to learn how to slide. That's his biggest thing. You know,
Hmm.
6 to 8 concussions than last season is not good for your body at all. I don't care who you are, and that's not that's he's got to stop that stuff immediately.
Right.
Um, as far as John Harbaugh coaching New York, I mean, New York's going to make it's New York. They're going to make a big splash. It's a Yankee thing, you know. They're going to make a big splash and stuff. So, um, I don't know. John, he's been in the league, you know, he's been coaching for 18, 19 years in the NFL and basically for
Hmm.
one team.
Hmm.
I don't know how his adjustment will be this coming up year. I think what people want him to do and what he's actually going to do are way and different opposites of the end.
Right.
I don't think that I mean they expect New York to or the Giants to be like a 8 and 9 team. And figuratively it could work that way. I mean, that defense has got to get better. Defense was disappointing last year. They were very
Right.
inconsistent. They had the talent on that defense. They just didn't get it moving along. The offense with Scatterboo coming up there, it was promising. You're going to have uh, Neighbors back. They might need to have to get another receiver too. I mean, I like Robinson. I do.
Hmm.
He's a good guy. He performed really well this season. So I mean, I'd keep him, but I'd probably get somebody to. I don't know if he'd be a 2 or a 3, but I'd probably get somebody that could be a 2 or a 3 as well in the draft or free agency. There's going to be a lot of good free. There's a lot of good free agencies out here. What I see so far in the free agency, until it hasn't, no, everybody hasn't got a chance to get re-signed yet. But what I've been looking at the free agency market, there's some people coming. Linderbaum got his 5th year. Didn't get his 5th year extension. So I don't know if the Ravens are going to keep him and pay him, or is he going to file John Harbaugh to the Giants, which would be immensely good for the Giants because they
Right.
need offensive linemen. So, I mean, we just got to see what happens. I mean,
Yeah.
everything, you can assume a whole bunch and say, oh, wow, they changed John Harbaugh. They're going to do this
Right.
and they're going to do that. And I mean, I got to the point where I've heard a couple of Giant fans, and not our Giant fan, but a couple of Giant fans say that, well, we're going to go to the Super Bowl. Yeah, okay, whatever,
Yeah.
dude.
Well, that's what that's
Whatever.
honestly, I'm gonna be honest. Our Giant fan who's not on here tonight, he thinks the same thing, and I cannot wait for him to have a moment of realization that even John Harbaugh, I don't care if he brought Peter, James, and some of the apostles with him, they are not working miracles in one year in Giants territory, and so that's why he's not on here tonight, because he's probably already had that moment of realization, and we know he scampers away whenever facts come out. So, it would be great to be free of them for another year. But they will at least improve a couple of games. I'll give them that. They got to win more than 4 games. If he come in there and win 4 games, I don't know. So, and like JTrain said though, um, it's and well, actually you said it be contracts still be working out. There's always a small, tiny sliver of hope that he doesn't even go to New York and that Tennessee can get him. And I hope that Tennessee some kind of way can claw their way still in there, and he can go with the other rookie, Cam Ward. So, All right, so we'll keep our eyes on
It ain't
that.
gonna happen, Sonja. Sorry.
Yeah, I know.
They're gonna
We'll,
sign him.
we'll,
See, you're being emotional about this stuff.
yeah, because I
You're just being
despise. It's for
just
one
petty
person. It's
case.
for one person,
I
and
know.
I say that in our group chat. You show me pettiness, and my petty level goes to hell. Okay, you want to go low, I'm going to hell. That's pretty much it. And so, um, I could keep it going, but if all this person ever talks about is that we won 8 games, then you have nothing else to say because at the end of the day, who's the NFC South champion? No matter how we got there, we're there, and you are at the gutter of your division. If you had a lower part to be out of the NFC least, they would fix it for you. You're not even number 4 in the division. You're really a -4. You're garbage. So, um, I know you're listening, and that's for you. All right, guys. So moving along, let's talk about the playoffs here. Big weekend. B, give us the headway of all these big players well, one big player in particular, um, Christian Gonzalez. Let's talk about this New England game and his being cleared concussion protocol in 2 days, looks like.
Well, it wasn't 2 days. I mean, he
Nah, no, I'm
got
being
hurt.
funny.
He got hurt, I think, on Saturday. So, I mean, it's amazing how fast somebody. I usually thought that the rule was a week, and that would make sense because they'd be able to play the following week if they passed, protocol. I mean, we know Nico Collins isn't playing because of the same thing. He's in concussion protocol, but Gonzalez cleared that, so he'll play against the Texans, which they need him to do because I don't care if you don't have Nico Collins or not. Christian Kirk last week was killing everybody. So, yeah. So you need somebody, and Gonzalez is a very underrated corner, very underrated
Right.
corner. In other news, the Buffalo Bills are getting back Ed Oliver and Curtis Samuel. They just activated them off IR. They definitely are going to need them too, especially Ed Oliver because their run defense is horrendous. I mean, horrendous.
Yeah.
And they got Dobbins back there and Harvey back there for the Broncos. They're gonna run that ball. If they can run that ball effectively, you ain't got to worry about Bo Nix making mistakes against that secondary because they'll be able to run the ball. I think we'll get to that in a minute. Anyway, other than that, we got I don't hear anybody else. Dre Greenlaw from the Broncos is coming back this week. Warner for San Francisco will not be a no-show. He's out. He's out.
He will be a no-show?
Yeah, Warner is going to be out.
Okay, I thought you said he will not be a no-show. That's why I was like, what? He's actually going to come back? I knew there was no way. There's no way.
Yeah, well, he thought it was, but
yeah, he did.
That's what he gets for thinking. And then, obviously, the coach for Seattle thinks that our boy is going to be good quarterbacking. His oblique problem looks like it's getting better. He has promised that he will definitely play in the playoff game. So
you're talking about Darnold? Darnold had an oblique problem?
Yep.
I missed
He came on the injury report midweek.
Whoa.
All of a sudden. So, but
I was sick.
Coach said he'll be in there. So, other than that, I think pretty much everybody is good to go. I didn't see any other major injuries.
I mean, if we're looking at people coming back in, and what's up, Pink Fanfare, and hello, Jeffrey, keep pounding. And what's up, Jackoff? Listen, so I mean, what are your thoughts? These people that are coming back, are these difference makers? With each team, Gonzalez, Greenlaw, are these the difference makers in winning or losing at the end here?
I mean, it helps the teams. I mean, I don't know if it's going to be a difference, but makes the outcomes a little bit more interesting because these guys are really good players. Greenlaw is like, they've been missing Greenlaw real bad for Broncos. Yeah. That's a lot of times this year, the Broncos had to come back in the fourth quarter because the defense just kind of got stuff done. and Greenlaw was a big part of that. When he's missing, you can tell that defense is just a little bit lacking. You still got Surtain out there, and he does a very good job.
Yeah.
But as far as Ed Oliver is concerned, coming back for Buffalo's defense, again, they have a horrid running defense. He might improve that a little bit. I'm not saying he's going to completely be the guy that turns it around, but when he's in there, the run defense is at least not laughable. I'll put it to you that way.
Yenzer, I know that I'm driving. I saw it. I know it. I mean, James, what do you think?
So to piggyback off what Brian was saying, to have Ed Oliver back, as bad as the run defense for the Bills is, I mean, ranked at about 28th. They're going up against it. They're going up against decent running backs for the Broncos. I don't think they're great. I think they're good. I think they're not great though. And it's the opposite. I mean, for Buffalo has James Cook, and James Cook can cook. My man is cooking, but he's going up against the number 2 overall run defense, and so Buffalo's going to have a tough time. And for whatever reason, I didn't pick. I'm not going to say who I'm picking in this team, on this game yet until we get to that point. But I will say that Buffalo needs to really come out and have the stars of their team be superstars. They need to be.
Right.
Josh Allen needs to have a cape out of his coming out of his jersey the whole game. And James Cook needs to be the Flash. We need DC superstars need to be on this team in order to beat. We got DC versus Marvel. Marvel is probably Sean Payton and his crew, and that defense is. We're talking about Marvel on both sides. The Avengers. The
Avengers and stuff.
The Avengers, everybody. Yeah, X-Men, everybody's on that team. So they got them all wrapped up into one in that team.
War.
Yeah. So, and it's just, that's going to be a tough game. And they're in Denver, Mile High. So they're not just playing against a tough defense. They're playing against, lack of oxygen too, as well. So it's just, it's going to be a tough game. So I look forward to it. That's what football's about. This is that season. Division, win, put up, shut up, or go home. That's it.
Yeah, win or go home, and it's definitely now. Wild card is, of course, over with. So now this is officially the playoffs. I don't know. I think we're probably going to be looking at some games that come down to the last 4 points, just like we saw in the wild card. It's been just very interesting, including some games that originally looked like they were, washouts or whatever. And then all of a sudden, the underdog comes back swinging, literally, not even figuratively, but really swinging and staying in the game. So, I don't know, guys. So I guess we'll start spinning towards that way right now. You guys could kind of take the lead on that as I am about to get to the house here shortly.
So what
game you want to start with?
Well, let's start with the Saturday games first. We'll get to, let's see here. We got the Saturday games are going to be Buffalo at Denver and San Francisco at Seattle. Buffalo at Denver, we've been talking about that heavily, actually leading up to this. Broncos are favored by 1.5. It's in Mile High. Buffalo doesn't need to come out swinging, because if this defense gets a foothold, it's lights out for Buffalo. And myself, my opinion is I think Buffalo goes down in this game. I just think Denver's just got too much defense. You got to look at it like this. I look at the teams that Buffalo has played and how they played against them. They played Houston, which is right now the best defense out of every team in the playoffs right now. The best defense of all of NFL, really. And Josh Allen couldn't do nothing against Houston. He was running for his life. Broncos are like maybe the second or third rated defense in the league. I think they're second. Are they second overall, James? Or are they third overall?
Well, they have different numbers I saw, but they're in the top 3 in regards to
Yeah,
I think their
I think it's
overall.
like
So they're
Seattle and them.
yeah,
I think
they're
it's
in the
like
top
it's
3.
Seattle. Yeah. So,
They have the
Does
number
that
2
yeah.
really
run
hold up?
defense.
Mm-hmm.
Does that really hold up though this late in the
Yeah,
playoffs?
I mean defense like travels
Defense wins
and does everything.
championships. Hmm.
That's pretty much it. That's. I mean, unless you got an offense that's like a greatest show on turf type offense, yeah, it's going to be tough. And with that said, I mean, I look for coaches to pull things out of their bag. When we're looking at Sean McDermott versus Sean Payton, uh, that's going to be a really good matchup against. That's going to be a really good matchup in between those two coaches. And
Sean Square.
again, and Sean Payton, man, I one thing I loved about him being in New Orleans all those years, he's a troll. He will troll you and throw out some shots at you, whether it be on the field or throwing a choke shot sign if you're doing something. He's not scared to go up against players either. I mean, we can't go back to the Super Bowl of 2009 where he called the onside kick. You can't do that anymore. There's no surprise onside kicks anymore.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, but Sean Payton will bring it. But my surprise would be the Bills. I think the S is going to be on the chest for Josh Allen. I think he's going to be Superman, and they're probably going to win. You saw it was only 1.5 in the spread. I think they win a very close game here going, and they're going to upset. Because I think my thing is I'm not sold on Bo Nix just yet. I think Bo Nix, I mean, they had similar numbers this season. I mean, they both had over 3,500 yards passing. I mean, over 25 TDs and maybe 10 interceptions. One can run the ball a little bit better. Josh Allen, he's going to score probably more within the tush push at the goal line, and I just think that I'm trusting both those guys, that Batman and Robin. That's what I'll call them. I'll call Josh Allen and James Cook Batman and Robin. I think the dynamic duo goes in and steal a game.
Okay, that's a fair assessment. What do you think, B?
Well, I'm totally opposite of James on this one. I think the Broncos are going to win this game. They got the second best defense in the league. Amazingly enough, the Bills have the 7th, but that's because they have the number 1 pass defense. They have the worst one of the worst run defenses, 28. We always talk about that. Scoring defense it's a difference too. The Broncos are number 3 in scoring defense. Got to watch that stuff because if you go back there and you fluster Josh, he's going to make a mistake because that's what he usually does. Now, in the playoffs, he's been pretty good. Really good, actually. Not pretty good, but really good. The thing that's been letting him down in the playoffs is his defense. Now, his defense is, like I said, number 1 pass defense in the league, but their run defense lacks imagination. And there's 2 things in this league that you have to do when you're in the playoffs. You got to run the ball, and you got to be able to run the ball, and you got to be able to stop the run, and you got to have good defense. Neither of those things. I mean, Buffalo has a good run offense, but their defense is like, no, it's not going to work. And even with Dobbins and Harvey back there, it's going to make them look really good because they're not going to be able to stop that. Even with Ed Oliver,
Dobbins is out.
Denver.
Dobbins is out.
He's out.
He's on IR. Yeah. So I mean, you're right. They got Harvey, but like you mentioned, Ed Oliver. It's going to be interesting to see what he can do, being that he's coming back. I think the fact that was a big surprise for me when I saw that he was back. I said that might help shore up some of that run defense just enough to give them some opportunities to catch them on 3rd and long, or, put them in 3rd and long situations and stop them. Man, we'll see. Bo Nix is going to be the key here. To me, Bo Nix is the key. If Bo Nix can come out and don't throw any turnovers, take care of the ball, maybe get some first downs here and there with his legs, then yeah, maybe they win the game. But I like the changes that have been made here. Like you said, Ed Oliver coming back, and they got Curtis Samuel coming in to help out on offense. They're gonna need it all hands on deck on offense because that, like you said, that defense. They got Patrick Surtain Jr. I mean, as the shutdown corner on one side.
That rookie on the other
Yes.
side is playing out his
Yeah.
mind.
It's going to be good. But
So,
it's this to
yeah,
me, this is probably the best game that's going to be played this weekend to me, because
yeah.
I just think there's a lot of good matchups here.
I just feel like um, even though I really, none of us are really concerned about the AFC. My overall picture is that the AFC Championship game will be between the Patriots and the Broncos, and I feel like, however, that Bo Nix, um, being at home, I think this will still come down to maturation. Like you said, JTrain, you're not 1,000% sold on Bo Nix. I mean, let's be clear, even though this is his second year, he's still considered a rookie. Anybody under 3 years is still really playing and expected to play rookie level football, unless you're an anomaly. And that's why they have rookie contracts. They're still in their rookie years because they have not been, proven yet. They have some really good players like CJ Stroud is another one that, in his rookie year just came out swinging, running all that stuff. And like I said, it's an anomaly. It's not a norm to see that. But with that being said, I feel like this, with Josh Allen already having been here before, having been here multiple times as a franchise, Buffalo themselves, even though it's different players, the fact that this franchise cannot get over that we've been to the Super Bowl back to back to back to back times and never won. So I think they're taking this to heart this time. We've all said it. There's no Lamar Jackson, no Patrick Mahomes this time. This is your time to do it, because when those two gentlemen come back, we don't know what that looks like, and those have been his nemesis the entire time. So because of that, I think that it's going to come down to, sometimes you do have to play with emotion. Sometimes you do have to use emotion as your catalyst, mind over matter. And I think because they know this, they are going to play even more diligent, because Josh Allen doesn't want to be beat by a rookie quarterback and eliminated. So, with that being said, I would be willing to say that the Bills will pull this upset off and then face the winner of the Texans Patriots game. Speaking of, let's go to the next game, B. And guys, I'm almost home, so I'm going to turn my camera off here in just a second because I'm literally about to park. So you guys feel free to talk, and I'll get in as I can.
All right, the next game is San Francisco at Seattle. Seattle's favored by 7 points. We have no Kittle in this game because he is on IR, thanks to his injury against Philadelphia. Seattle was dealing with a quarterback issue. Sam Darnold had a oblique issue that popped up in the middle of the week. Put him on an injury report and put him as questionable. But coach came out and said, hey, don't worry about that. He's going to be ready to go for the playoff game. Okay, oblique is a heck of a lot of to go through and put in a playoff game. Let me tell you something. So Purcell is going to be playing for. He was questionable, but it looks like he's playing for San Francisco. So San Francisco is going to really kind of depend on CMC, the normal thing. CMC, Trent Williams is going to be playing, so that's going to be good for them. And Purcell. And Purdy's got to go up there and have a heck of a game. They've been doing amazing just to this point. But Seattle, that seems to be a thorn in their side. The last time they played Seattle was like about 3 weeks ago, I believe. And they lost. And they did not look very good. And that was at home. That was at San Francisco. So, I mean, Seattle's a good road team. Kind of wary about what they do at home, though, because they're not really a good home team. But this is the playoffs. They're at home. They're going to be pumped. The crowd's going to be in it. I don't see Seattle losing this game. I think unfortunately the road ends for San Francisco in this game. It's just too much. Kittle is the last straw, I feel. and not having Warner come back. Warner probably would have gave him a little bit more hope, but it's just I think that he should be Shanahan should be really up there for Coach of the Year because he did an absolutely fabulous job with San Francisco this year. But I think this is where the buck stops right here.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm gonna have to really agree because Seattle is just complete on in all facets of their team and of the games. We're talking about offense, defense, special teams. They just look complete. I think the biggest question mark that Seattle would have is the consistency of Sam Darnold. I mean, if you remember, he had a complete renaissance when he went to Minnesota last year in 2024 with Kevin O'Connell, and that's the Sam Darnold that I think everybody was expecting when he got drafted at number 3 overall. And he really played. He played a great season, and then the wheels just seemed to fall off. The last game of the season against Detroit, and that first game in the playoffs, they just looked. Sam Darnold looked horrible, and he looked like a deer, with his eyes caught in the headlights. He just looked like he didn't know what was going on. And this year, Sam Darnold in Seattle has played pretty consistent ball. He's played pretty good ball, and he's played resilient in big games when it matters. So it seems to me that like he's gotten over that hump. Like he's not afraid of the big moment. He's not afraid of the big lights. I think he's ready. He's probably doing his Willie Beeman impersonation when he gets into the huddle and throws up, and then go ahead and throw for 3 touchdowns and 300 yards. So I think he can actually. Just don't turn the ball over. The game's over. Like you said, there's too many missing components for the 49ers. The last straw was Kittle, unfortunately, being missed, gone because of his Achilles rupture. And so I would say that definitely. Kittle, excuse me, I lost my train of thought here. The 49ers are going to have a tough time, but I will give credit. I like the coaching here with Shanahan. He's going to keep them in it. He's going to keep them in the game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's going to be a blowout by any means. It's going to be a tight game. You still got Christian McCaffrey, so you can do some things with him. And as you saw the last game when they played, that trick play with Jawan Jennings throwing a touchdown to C-Mac. Some interesting stuff, but they're going to have a tough time, though. I don't think they're going to be able to stop the running game with both Kenneth Walker and Charbonnet. And it's going to be a tough. Yeah, it's going to be a tough time for them. And then, of course, Jackson Smith and Jigba is the leading receiver in the game. He's not going to be shut down either. So it's just going to be tough. But it's going to be a close game, but I got Seattle winning this game.
Yeah, and so with that, unfortunately, I have Seattle winning as well because San Francisco is just really beat up. They literally are beat up, and they limped into the last playoff series some kind of way, got it made. Seattle beat them up pretty bad the first time. They were already, bumped up and bruised going into the last matchup. They're running on fumes right now. This is the time of year a lot of players are hurt anyway, but we've seen Brock Purdy bleeding. Christian McCaffrey was even layered down. They had him triple covered several times. That Seattle Seahawks, are they the number 1 defense, guys?
No, they're number 2.
Okay, well, it shows 1 or 2. It definitely shows. They had that dude cast up like a spider web net. Every time he moved, they were on him, and that's credit to good coaching on both sides of the ball. And so, as much as I don't want it to happen, and I'm hoping by some anomaly, I'm wrong. A broke clock is right twice a day. I hope that Seattle does not pull this one out. And it's just because of what they did to us. I know Sam Darnold said he loves the city of Charlotte and everything, but again, I just feel like teams that go through the entire season as number one or whatever, they can be defeated.
Pettiness 100 level.
They can be defeated. They can be defeated. If you don't believe me, ask the 2015 Panthers, who went through the entire season as the number one team that was undefeated, only to get to the Super Bowl and lose. It can happen. It can happen. And so I'm just hoping it's the same type of can happen to this team. I really want Christian McCaffrey to win it. He's a former Panther. We always have kind of like heart ties to those members that really were the heart and soul in the draft of our franchise. And so I think it's going to be close because San Francisco is injured. I think it's going to be low scoring, maybe 16-3, 16-7, something like that. But I don't think it's gonna be a lot. What's up, Robert? Nope, not a Hawk hater, just facts. Just facts. They're garbage. They're garbage. And if you're a Hawks fan, I definitely hope they tank. Now, Robert, you talking smack on here while I'm trying to articulate my analogy of the game. The first part of your comment was correct when you said the 49ers will keep it close. And they are undefeated in Seattle. So thanks for giving part A of your other comment. The rest of it, you don't even need to put that up, but you can put that in the toilet, delete that comment. So yeah. So I tell you what, Robert, after the game, come back on here and let's see. Because when you guys get eliminated, make sure you're front and center to face the comments then. But yeah, anyway, so yeah, let's move on to the next game, guys. James, whichever one of you guys got the Sunday games, I guess. That's it for Saturday.
Yep, that's it for Saturdays, those two.
Are we kicking off the Chicago Rams game first?
No, we're kicking off the Houston Patriots game first because that's the first game of the day.
All right.
So yeah, Houston's going to New England. New England's favored by 3.5. Like I said, Nico Collins isn't playing. Christian Gonzalez is, which will be good because Christian Kirk went off on Pittsburgh the last time they were in the playoff game. Houston, that is. I am going to be, of course, taking the Houston Texans in this one because they are far and above the best defense.
Yes, sir.
And they are just, say what you want about Drake May. But Drake May had some problems against San Diego. The Chargers defense last playoff game. And this defense is 2 times better than that defense. And they're flying all over the place. I mean, looking at some of the things here, New England relies heavily on a deep passing game. But the Texans' EPA for passes are minus 0.26, ranked first in the league by a wide margin. So go ahead and chuck it up there, Drake. See who comes down with it at the end. Can't be doing that. This defense does not play. People keep, well, you know, and I look Keith. Keith is our New England Patriot fan, our guy.
He can join us on the couch, though.
But I just New England's has got a day ahead of them. I don't think he's going to be able to do enough. I think that either the defense is going to show up for Houston and get a touchdown, and CJ Stroud might get lucky and get a couple touchdowns. I don't know. The running game is now. Let's not fade this past New England. New England's got a really good defense too. They're 8th in the league for defense. So it's going to be a defensive game. I don't see too much of it, too many scores in this game. It might be like a 6-3 game. You never know.
JTrain, what you think? I mean, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Games.
Yeah. So you got.
So yeah, they're going to be a problem against them, and you know, he got sacked 5 times.
Yep,
with the Chargers defense.
Lay them out.
So.
Look,
I got Houston in that one. So,
okay.
I think Houston's defense, like you said, it's incredible, and they look dominant in their first game in the playoffs. But they're going against a much better team. I think yes, what they're going to have to do, they're going to try to have to rattle Drake May. This is his first time in the playoffs, so I mean, obviously there's no experience there, and that coach, D'Amico Ryans, is going to definitely
can't even talk about him.
Oh my goodness! Can you hit the mute button, please?
Right.
I love
Oh my
D'Amico.
goodness. All right. So I think I think it's going to be a combination here. I think the biggest key factor is not going to be Drake May. It's going to be C.J. Stroud and whether or not he can and elevate his team. Because, like you said, Nico Collins is not there. And yes, Christian Kirk had a great game against a pretty good Jaguars defense. But I think that you're going to need a little more than that. You're going to need some Jaden Higgins or Noel, those guys they drafted uh, a year or two ago. Last year, and those guys got to step up. But that defense is good enough in New England to be able to try to hold those guys and shut them down. So I'm CJ Stroud has been known to throw some egregious interceptions. And so that's going to be the key right there. If there's a turnover if CJ Stroud can't shore it up and have a really outstanding game here where he protects the ball and don't throw those interceptions.
No, Mixon's not back.
Mixon's not back. No. Yeah, I think he's out for the whole season.
Yeah.
They still have Woody Marks as their running back.
And Nick Chubb.
And Nick Chubb. I didn't really see much from Nick Chubb. I think Woody Marks is the guy that's pretty much the bell cow there. But it's going to be tough. I like the Patriots in this game, and it's a very tight game because, again, as you said, B, or as you alluded to, their defense is stout. But I think the other defense for the Patriots is not too shabby either. So we'll see. And I think they can hold up against this defense because there's no Nico Collins. And then I think they should be able to shut down. Like you said, Christian Gonzalez is going to be back, and that's going to be key right there.
Infants, New England is kind of like Buffalo right now as far as their defense. Their defense are really good at stopping the pass, but their defense against the run is suspect. So look for Houston to try to expose that. If Houston can expose that, good night, New England. Because if they can't stop that run, they're definitely not going to be able to do anything against that Houston defense.
But this is where I'm not sold on their running game. I just think this is where this is where Joe Mixon would have been great. Had Joe Mixon been in this game, I'm picking the Texans. I'm picking the Texans. But I don't see that. I'm not sold on their running game. I like New England because I just think that, and I think both coaches are defensive-minded coaches, so you're going to see a pretty much defensive game, like you said. But I'm just going to take Drake May. Drake May I think he has enough for what it takes. He's got the weapons too to be able to do just enough to win this game. That's my take.
Yeah, and my take is that the Texans do. Wow, I don't know, because that would mess up my whole thought of the AFC Championship. If I just told you guys the last game, I thought the Bills were going to probably pull it out, and then to add insult to injury to Texans, I don't know. I haven't mentally prepared for a Texans and Bills AFC Championship, and I think that if we see that, it's going to be kind of like akin to the college playoff situation. Just new teams, new faces, new talent, and it's just a new time to embrace all of that. Thanks, Robert. I miss you on the Unprofessional Show as well. And I saw your other comment, what plus the ever. Yeah. So basically, I do believe the Texans can pull this out. Let me remove the emotion. Okay, let me remove the emotion. I think really that the talent is there on both teams, honestly. This is a tough one to pick. This is probably like one of those 9-6 score games that we just don't really know for sure until the clock is at double zeros. I do think it's going to be low scoring because both teams are defensively blessed. One a little, less ranked, but they've had games that there's been solid glimpses of that defense. And I think this is the playoffs, and sometimes those ranks don't matter because teams just really put it all on the line when it's playoff time. They don't want to go home. So they really step it up. So they may be ranked an 8 going in, but tomorrow they may play, a 1.5 ranking, like right beneath the number 1 ranking. And so I just feel like the Patriots are still going to pull this one out. I feel like there's some kind of way that they just have it on their mind that this is what they want to do. There's a lot of hype around them. But on the flip side, you got to watch when teams are not saying anything, when they're showing you on the field and they're quiet. And we have not heard much from the Texans and their fan base at all. They are very quiet. And so they may be that sneaky team that pulls it out and adding the emotion back in. I would be gleeful. I would be gleeful if the Texans won tomorrow. I'd be gleeful if San Francisco somehow pulls it out. It will be a gleeful day for me. And I'll probably go live if that happens. I'll probably go live. So you guys just stand by. I'll probably go live everywhere.
Oh, I have to correct myself earlier. I mentioned that I said Christian Kirk had a big day against the Jags. I meant the Steelers.
Steelers.
Yeah.
We knew what you meant, man.
All right. And there's one more game that we're going to start off with that I need to be gleeful. All three of these teams need to be the winners for me to be gleeful. And that is the Chicago Bears, the NFC North. I guess they won the division. I don't know. Between them and Green Bay, I could never tell who won. Like, who won? I don't know.
Chicago won the division by a mile.
I don't know. I was too worried about us being in there. Please don't take it personal, B. I was just trying to worry about my team actually being competitive this year. So I got a little distracted.
Chicago. I can give a rat's ass about Chicago.
I know. But I will say this. If they can go ahead and pop the horn off those Rams and take that horn and cram it so far up those Rams that their breath smells like ram horns, I would be happy. So that's when I would go live if the Rams lose this one. I will say this: Chicago, if they play solid all four quarters, they can win this game. They already got the elements on their side with that blizzard they got going on up there. And it never rains in Southern California. That's the Rams. That's where they're coming from. They don't rain, they don't snow, they don't do nothing. Goings and all those folks, they're used to it. So that's the game I'm actually looking forward to, not because of retribution from last week, but just because I want to see how they get down in these elements while we're watching from our warm, toasty homes.
Sure.
It's gonna be ugly, supposedly, based on the pictures I saw on yesterday, or it could be like how they said the Rams and Panthers game was supposed to be rained out and all this, and it wasn't a drop of rain in the sky. Like everybody predicted it all the way up to 2 hours.
It'll be cold.
Time.
It'll definitely be cold there.
Yes, but I'm talking about the snow and the wind. Yeah. So I got the Bears. If the weather is really bad, I got the Bears with this one 13-6.
Oh, that's a shut. Boy, they're gonna shut Matthew Stafford down like that.
13-7. That's one score game.
If they had an 85 Bears defense, they could do that. Yeah.
Yeah. And let me just tell you, listen, JTrain, you saw it up front and personal. Did you guys play the Rams this year? Were they on y'all's schedule too? Okay.
We got beat. We got beat. We got beat.
Oh, y'all beat. Okay. Well, the Falcons beat them. The Panthers beat them. Almost beat them a second time in a very close game. So anything is possible without the elements. I'm just saying the Bears are a better team than the two teams I just mentioned. And so I definitely believe the Bears got their claw out. Depends on what color polish Caleb is wearing tomorrow. So
I'll go next, man. I love so many aspects of football, man. To me, the game is almost like a chess game. You have different pawns, knights, rooks, bishops, kings, and queens on the floor. I think that right now there's two guys that are going to be out there playing some great chess out there, and that's Sean McVay versus Ben Johnson. I'm looking forward to this matchup, and I'm looking forward to both guys. I think they have all their pieces offensively, so it should be a really evenly matched offensively. Now, I know the Rams have a little bit better defense than Chicago, but offensively, man, I just really, especially with the elements out there, like Sonja alluded to, that it might change some things for the Rams. I'm looking forward to seeing what type of tricks they can pull out of their bags, man. Because I know they're going to dig deep in their bags for this one because it's going to be tough. I think both teams offensively present some challenges for both defenses, and so the question here is whether or not Caleb Williams can be consistent all game and not be, bad for the first three quarters and then pop up with 25 points in the fourth quarter. They really need to be consistent against this team because Matthew Stafford can carve you up. As he's shown, he's thrown 46 touchdowns to 8 interceptions. And I think that most of those interceptions came in the latter part of his season and in a couple of games against your Carolina Panthers. But I would say I'm going to go with the Bears at home. I like a close game and an upset here. I think this is a showing and coming out party for Caleb Williams. And I think he, just as Matthew Stafford can throw and win some game time decisions in the fourth quarter, Caleb Williams is also showing he can do that too. And I think, again, I like both teams have really good running game. They have stout running. Both Kyron Williams and Blake Corum is going to be good for them. But I also like Swift, DeAndre Swift, and Manungai, not Mafungai, but Manungai. Hi. I think they're gonna do well, and again, it's gonna be a close game. I got it, maybe 17 to 14, Chicago.
Okay. All right, B.
Well, again, I'm not picking the Chicago Bears. Their defense is horrendous. Green Bay didn't have no problem moving the ball in there. The problem with Green Bay is they shot themselves in the foot, whatever defensively they possibly scoring 25 points in the fourth quarter. That's a defensive problem. That's not an offensive problem for Green Bay. Rams defense is better than Green Bay's defense as Green Bay played last week. They're better. They're a better defense. I know, Sonja, you got this whole hard up thing about the Rams because they beat y'all, but the Rams are a good team. They're not garbage. If they're garbage, then that means the Panthers are even worse than garbage. Then, right?
No, we beat them already. We beat them one time.
They beat you in the
Falcons, but that was the playoffs. Everybody steps up in the playoffs.
They beat you in the playoffs.
Look at how close that score was.
That's what counts.
No, but they struggled. They didn't blow us out. Everybody, we were 10.
Nobody said they're going to be blowing. Yeah, but nobody thought that was going to happen. Anyway.
Vegas had us 10.5 points.
Vegas can suck it.
Yeah.
You don't half these point values on here are garbage anyway. Vegas is nuts right now. I don't know what they're doing. But anyway, they're trying to get people to spend all their damn money in Vegas and get rid of, everybody living in the street. But anyway.
I don't know, B. The house always wins. The house always wins.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
and I'd be willing to come on here and do
Did they win? Did they win with that 10.5 point spread?
They beat us.
They throw duds out there and every now and then, but the majority of times they win. For sure.
Playoffs, though, really, it's really hard in the playoffs to set a betting line because these teams are just weird. They function weird in the playoffs because they're just somebody's going to turn on, somebody's going to turn off that you don't expect. So, but like I said, Chicago's defense is not good. The only thing that covers up their defense is they're number one in the league for turnovers. But if you're playing in the playoffs, that's not going to happen very often. In fact, like I said, Green Bay was running up and down the field on them for the whole game. There was no turnovers. No turnovers. They found a way to win because Green Bay's defense decided to go to sleep. So it is what it is. As far as the weather conditions are concerned, they have to play in those same weather conditions. That's the Bears. They have to play in those same weather conditions. I don't care if you play in a stadium. Very mythical thing that people talk about. These players come from different walks of lives and different colleges where it's cold and stuff like that, and they played in that before. Matt Stafford played in this division, and we have two teams that are outdoor teams. One of them being Chicago, and one of them was Green Bay. So and they play in another division that has the same things. Like Seattle is an open air stadium. Arizona can be that once they remove the roof half the time, but and then you got San Francisco, another team that has an open air stadium. The elements are just something that gets you mentally frazzled. If you're a professional athlete and you don't let that happen, you should be fine. It's going to be cold, but it's going to be cold for both sides. So they're both going to have to deal with the elements. So I don't buy into that whole philosophy too much. But Stafford is just – he's playing really well. And he had a rough last 4 weeks. But I think that this is a game that he's going to show you that, hey, don't count me out. That dude across it. And I'm not saying – Ben Johnson's a really good coach, and he's going to have them boys ready to play. But I just don't see Chicago winning this game. I think Rams have too much offensive weaponry, and I'm just going to put to you to a point. Chicago's last game of the season was against Detroit. Okay, nobody thought Detroit was going to win that game. You know why? Because their offense was stagnant. They still found a way to beat them, and they were throwing all over that defense. And the Rams' defense, compared to that right now, is better than that offense. So I'm just saying.
Any given Sunday, my man. Any given Sunday.
Any given Sunday for anybody. I mean, that's just a cliche.
Exactly. I'm just saying. You said the Rams' offense is loaded. So is Chicago's.
Mm-hmm.
Well, their defense.
So is Chicago's.
That's the whole point.
I get it. But I gotta take what you say with a grain of salt because you don't like Chicago.
Right. Well, you emotional now.
No, Sonja don't like the Rams.
I don't like.
I gotta take what she said. You're right. Absolutely.
So anyway,
I didn't think nothing about the Rams till they showed up on our turf. But you don't like Chicago because that's your division.
Hold up. When it comes to football, I'm biased about stuff. I look at things for the realist. Chicago has a bad defense. I said they were going to beat Green Bay in the last game. I picked them to beat Green Bay. If I was being an ass, then I would have said they're tied.
No, it's the lesser of two evils. Both of them in your same division.
You had to pick somebody.
Exactly. Let's be clear.
I do remember you saying you wish. I do remember you saying you wish it could be a tie.
Right. Same.
But I picked with my knowledge, and my knowledge said that Chicago was going to win that game. They ain't going to win this game because they don't have good defense. It's just a fact. It's a fact. Fact.
Well, speaking of facts, it's a fact that it's 10 o'clock and it's time for us to make like bunnies in early spring and hop up out of here. BJ, fun as always. Of course, I'm Sonja, y'all. This was a great show. Everybody have an amazing weekend. For all of my D9 sisters out there, Deltas, AKAs, and Zetas, please have an amazing week. My frat, Phi Beta Sigma, everybody in the J5, the Kappas. This is J5 month, January, and the 5 groups that have Founders Days. You guys be safe, celebrate all weekend. And we will see you guys soon. B and J will be on in the morning with Jack Hirsch with the debate show, and Sunday morning, this big sports show. They'll be talking about tomorrow's games recap and Sunday's morning's games, as well as anything else that goes down this weekend. And with that, we bid everybody a great weekend. Good night. Peace.